Hey gang, thanks again for joining us for another of the Let's Talk Google Apps series. My name's Trevor Beck. I'm the Google Evangelist here at MacEwan University. And today we're going to talk about extensions and apps that we can access through Google Chrome. Google Chrome is a really powerful tool in itself, but there's all sorts of little pieces of software that have been written that will expand what you can do with that. We'll talk a bit about how you can find those stuff. We'll talk about a couple of different ones that I use a lot, and hopefully you guys will open your eyes to see what else is available to you. Joining me is my colleagues. I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with John there off to the left.
My name is John Colson from the Computer Science Department here at MacEwan University.
And I'm Dave Cato from Physical Education.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Appreciate that. So extensions and apps are pieces that aren't installed on part of Google Chrome. So they're pieces that you have to go out and look for yourself. And it's really easy to find them because they are stored in the Google Chrome web store. So there's lots of ways to search for stuff depending on what you want. And we're just going to kind of jump right in there just because it makes the most sense. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And guys, can you let me know when you guys can see it okay? Can you see my screen?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So here's my an empty browser that normally comes up. And I'm going to just go off to the left here where it says apps. And this is where I would find any apps that I've actually have installed. And you can see there's a whole bunch of them here that I have installed. But by default, you'll have the web store. And that's where we're going to start with. The web store allows us to search for, just like the iTunes Store or Google Play Store, stuff that's going to be available for our Google Chrome. Now, you can see there that we can search for just specific apps. We can search by extensions or themes or any of that kind of stuff. And there's a whole list of all sorts of wonderful things that are available there. I'm going to start off with something really, really useful called Google Shortener. So it's spelled G.O.O.G.L, which is a URL shortener. And as we go through the session, you'll notice in the right of the screen there's a link there for questions. So let's talk questions. If you have a question or something, just click on that link. It'll open up a new tab or a new window. And it's a Google Doc that we've basically left open to the world. So you can go in and just put in whatever questions you have in there, and we'll address those as we go along. I'll also be sharing a link to the document that I'm working with that will have links to these different extensions and apps we're talking about. So don't be too concerned about that. So Google Shortener, down here at the bottom, I'll pull that up. And it's going to first, of course, ask for permission to load itself. And you'll notice it puts the icon up here to the right of our search bar, or Omni bar. I already have some other extensions loaded up. I'm just going to click and drag this one over because I use this all the time. What this does is it takes a really long URL and makes it shorter. Now, if I took this URL here, which is the path to the video series home where these things are stored, that can be quite long. And we've seen it with Google Documents where they have those numbers and letters and stuff, and so the path is extremely long. Well, what I can do is go in. I can create a new tab, and I can go to goo.gl. Now, this is Google Shortener. And so you just paste in your URL, hit shorten, and it gives you a nice short URL that you can use. One of the nice thing about this service is that you get details on any of the shortcuts that you use. So anything that I've put in somewhere, I can look at the details, and it'll tell me some of the, like, where I had people making use of it. In this case, we're looking at all time. I've had 19 clicks in the last 6 days. Chrome, Firefox, what platforms, what countries. So it gives you some little stats and stuff, and it's a great little service to have from Google. Now, it's a kind of a pain, though, every time if I have to go copy this, go to open the tab, type in goo.gl, paste, copy, paste, etc., etc. What Google Shortener does is it takes that whole series of steps and just does it for me. So whenever I want a shortcut, I go into the extension here. There's that shortcut. It's gone and added it all up. I can hit copy. And now, if I open up a new tab, there's my shortcut. Takes me right to the page that I'm looking at. So all these extensions basically take what we're doing in Chrome and do some other really nice, handy things that allows us to do shortcuts, just to improve our experience that we have already. Another piece that we can look at the store, I'll just talk about we addressed it a couple weeks ago or a couple sessions ago, is Office editing for Drive, Sheets, and Slides. Office editing. And that is this piece here. And what that does is allow me to actually view and edit Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files that are stored in Google Docs. So I don't actually have to convert those files. I can keep them in their natural or their native format, go in, make some edits and stuff, and then if someone else comes along and opens it up with Microsoft Word, my changes are actually saved there. So this is really handy if you're in a position where you've got all these Office documents, you don't necessarily want to convert them to Google, but I can go in and quickly edit the stuff. Check out the Working with Office video that we did a couple of weeks ago. Again, in the right-hand side, there's a link to the Let's Talk Google Apps series, which is this site here, and you'll find it there April 7th. Oops, April 7th. There's the video we did and the resources that went along with that. So that's Google Shortener and Google Editing. I'm going to show you a couple other ones I've loaded up already, but just so you can see the functionality of what's available to you. If I wanted to go and create a new Google document or a sheet or a slide, I normally would have to open this up, go to Drive, type it in, go ahead, and then click on this New button off to the side here. Well, there's a piece here that it's called Google Docs Quick Create. And what that does for me is it does this whole process automatically. So it doesn't matter where I'm at. If I need to create a new document of some kind, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say, you know what, I need to do a new, I'll create a new drawing just for the heck of it. It's going to automatically go through the whole process, and it opens up a new drawing. So I don't have to go through all those other steps. By default, all the files that we create will be stored at the very top level of my drive, so I can move them later on. But I mean, it's very easy to go ahead and reposition where they're stored at. So that is the plugin or the extension here called Google Docs Quick Create. Can you guys see everything okay, or do I need to increase the screen size here? I'm assuming, because I don't hear anything.
Yeah, it's fine, Trevor. At least on my screen, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Screenshots. The one problem that we have with screenshots is it typically just takes a shot of the screen that you're viewing right now. And so if I was to go to CNN.com, and I know there's an article in here somewhere on the Muppets, and if you haven't seen the video yet, I really recommend you go look for it. Where's my, what? Where'd it go? There was an article. All right, so there's no article right now. If I did a screenshot, it would take a picture of just this screen here. But sometimes you want to do the whole page. Now, if you're on a Mac, you can go save to PDF. There's other things you can do with on the Windows side as well. But if it doesn't allow you to really mark it up the page at all. There's an extension called Awesome Screenshot. And what it does is exactly what it says. It will take screenshots based on a part of a page, based on a selected area, or the entire page. So it actually will go through here, and it's taking snapshots of each of these screens, brings it all together into one document. And now I've got this the whole file here. I would have to reduce the size here so we can see it. But there's the whole page. At any point in time, I can use the tools up top here to draw on it. So quickly screenshots or doing screenshots, but not just of one page, of the whole document. One of the other things I like about this is that when I'm done, I'll click Done here. It gives me some options of what I want to do with that file. I can save it online, so I don't actually have to email it off to anyone. I can just save it. It'll provide me a link that brings the person back to this document. Or, of course, I can save it, put it to the clipboard, or just print it off. So, awesome screenshot. If you do any kind of screenshots, marking up stuff, it's a great piece to work with. And guys, if you have any questions, then please, by all means, just stop me at any point in time. Now, I'm really bad about throwing on a lot of different windows and tabs and stuff. And with any browser, the more windows and tabs that are open, the harder it gets to for your document to your applications to work. So sometimes you want to park them or put them in some kind of a sleep mode. And there's a great little app here or extension here called Cloud or Tab Cloud. What that does is it takes a look at what you've got open and it says, hey, you know what? We're going to save that. So let's say for this, I want to do this presentation again. So I want to have these 3 or 4 tabs. I use these same 4 tabs again. I would go into here. Here's a list or a listing of all the different windows that are open. And I can see the Chrome Store, which is this here, and the Google URL Shortener. That's this window here. I'm going to give it a name. Call it Startup Presentation. And I'm going to save this. Now, the nice thing about this is that it actually saves this into your account that you're logged into the cloud. There are other extensions that do the same kind of thing, but when they park it, it doesn't remember it. It only remembers it on that computer. The advantage of this is I can now shut down, walk over to a different lab, log into a completely different computer, log in with my account, and it will remember all this stuff here that's below the line. Everything above the line represents what's a browser that's existing here on this, or a browser window that's existing here on this computer. This is all stored stuff. So at any point in time, from any computer, as long as I'm logged in, I just click on this plus sign, and all this stuff will show up again. So to show you how that works, I'm just going to close off the window. So I'm left here with just this one. I'll go into that Cloud tab, and I'll click on this. And there's all the tabs open up in a new window. And it doesn't matter whose computer I'm on as long as I'm logged in with myself. As I mentioned, there's other extensions that do that. I have one here that I was playing around with that does something similar, but it does not remember it from one computer to the other. I have to be using the same computer to use it. So I really like the Tab Cloud functionality for that. Last thing I'm going to talk about is an extension called Screencastify. And Screencastify does recordings. It'll do video recordings of your screen. Now, for the most part, it's it'll do just a single tab. It'll do your desktop. It'll include the camera. So if I have an external camera, which is already being used right now for the screen share or Hangout that we're doing right now. But it will put all that together. So I can go through and do a whole screen capture. It'll capture the whole desktop. I can have it embed my camera in the bottom right like we've seen happen before, and I just hit start recording, and whatever I'm doing will record. It's not. It's great for quick and dirty. It allows people to see your face as well as what you're working on. It does the audio, all that kind of stuff. It does not allow you to have any editing afterwards. So if it's just a quick grab and you're not concerned about editing afterwards, it's a great little extension to load. If it's something that you need to edit afterwards, you might want to look at something different. Okay, that's all I have for extensions. Gentlemen, do you have anything you want to ask or bring up or talk about?
So Trevor, for example, now this last one you just talked about, Screencastify. Would that work, for example, like bring up a PowerPoint and you could do your lecture on it, but fire that up to, say, Blackboard?
Yes, actually, it's a very good example. I mean, it's just capturing whatever it sees and whatever you're saying in that. So yeah, you would bring up a presentation. Probably, I think the best way it works is as long as it's in a web browser page. If it's not in a web browser, so if it's if you're going to bring up PowerPoint, I haven't actually used it with PowerPoint because that's a different window. Whereas this, when it talks, I mean, it's Chrome based, right? So it's talk about our Chrome thing. So if I was to take your presentation as a Google slide and do it in here, it should capture that.
Yeah, so that you just could take that PowerPoint, convert it to the Google slide, and upload to Blackboard.
Yep, that's exactly right. If you end up doing that, let me know. I'd like to see how that works out for you.
Yeah, that's I just kind of give me an idea because I'm just thinking of something. Looking at the fall semester, where or at least I'm going to be a couple of courses or days short, and I'm thinking of ways to at least get the lectures out there. So this might be a easy way to do it without having to go to cafe and get their special little program.
And that's a very good point that I was just going to mention. The nice thing about this is it's based on the browser, right? So if I log in anywhere, I'm going to be able to have access to this tool. Whereas, as we know, when you borrow a computer from somewhere else or use someone else's computer, they don't necessarily have Office installed, let alone Camtasia or Snapit or Snapchat or sorry, not Snapchat, Snapit or any of those other kind of screen captures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a Google Chrome user or Chromebook user, so if you're using Chromebook, Screencastify is one of the very few options available for you to capture whatever it is you're doing.
Interesting.
Okay, any questions, guys?
Just one about Screencastify. Are there limits to how long it can go?
I don't know. I've actually never done anything long with it. It doesn't say anything, but I'm sure if you go to the Support Us, it'll probably tell you somewhere there what the limits would be. Did that not answer your question well enough? Okay, I just want to check and make sure. Yeah, I'm still screen sharing. That's good to see. So we're going to move on to apps now. Or actually, you guys don't have anything you want to bring in for extensions? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. A couple other ones, or one other one that I will mention is Lastpass. For anyone that's doing a lot of passwords and stuff, and we all know you're not supposed to use one password for everything else. Lastpass is a free service that will allow you to store all the passwords that you use on your devices, on your Chrome device. To your browser. So as I'm going through and I'm creating new accounts and stuff like that, Lastpass will remember that password for me. So that the next time I come to this, all I have to do is log in with Lastpass once, and it'll recognize what site I'm on, and it'll say, hey, I have the password for that. Do you want me to enter it in? And that's really important when you do banking and stuff like that, because if you have anything where someone can make use of your Visa account, like PayPal, any of those kind of stuff, you don't want to be doing simple passwords like password 123 and all those other ones. You can have this major convoluted password and you don't even have to remember it. You just remember one password, the last password. That's redundant enough. The password to get into LastPass, and it'll do all the rest for you. And it'll do credit card information. It'll do all that other stuff. It's the last time I looked at it, it's free as a basic service. They make money because if you want it on your mobile device, so that all your passwords are synced between your tablet and your phone and the thing there. I think there's a service there that you have to pay for. But if you're just using it as a on your computers and stuff, it's free and it works really well.
So it works the same as 1Password, etc.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing as 1Password. And 1Password also actually 1Password's now available on Windows too. So 1Password's another one that you could use, and there's an extension that goes along with that.
Yeah, there is. I use that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's fine. It's about I was going to say I use it on both platforms, and it works quite nicely.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I try to stay away from Windows. But I tell you, I'm liking the Chrome stuff more and more. I'm definitely going to be looking at possibly a Chromebook or something in the near future. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about apps. So the apps are the same thing. So I'm going to go to the Chrome store here, and I'll take a look. And so there's all these different apps. And I can just, right now when I click on this, there's some recommended apps. There's updated apps. I can search for a specific app. In this case, I'm going to search for BeFunky. So BeFunky is a photo editor. Now, as I mentioned before, it's also available as a separate web page. I could go and look at that separately by going to www.befunky.com. The value, though, is that when I add it to my Chrome here, is it can look through and save to my Google Drive. So I've already installed it. I'm just going to go back to my apps list here. When I click on here, this is where all the different apps that I've installed are available. And I actually have, and then there's Screenshot as an app as well. I'm going to move over because I'm sure BeFunky's on page 2 here. And I'm going to launch BeFunky. So It's a great photo editor just for doing quick and dirty, have fun. I mean, we're always asked to, when you create a profile, put in a picture of yourself. I'm going to upload a photo. I can actually use my desktop camera and take a picture right now. I actually loaded something up to Google Drive this morning. Let's see if it's still there. There it is. I just grabbed this snapshot this morning. So there's Trevor being contemplative and trying to look intelligent. So there's all sorts of different effects that I can apply to this thing. I can colorize stuff. I can do whatever. Cropping it. I've already actually cropped this photo once. I'm going to sneak into the effects here. So there's all sorts of different effects that we can look at. I like to just pop into the featured one. And let's start with chromatic. So I don't think I like that one. We'll go with this one. So I've kind of diffused this. It's kind of giving you that 3D look. And I can just click apply to that. Then I can also go down and we'll take a look at, well, some artsy stuff. So what other artsy things can we do? Well, I also want to cartoonize myself. Now, that's a bit heavy in the cartooning, so I'm going to pull her down a little bit so I can adjust those things. Before, we used to have to go through all sorts of jumps and hoops to get this kind of stuff to work for us. But now it's really easy. These web-based tools and there's lots of them. This is just one of many. Are easy to come by, and they can do all sorts of different things. We'll throw in the. I always like this grunge look. I don't know why, but I do. And we will position myself a little bit, and I'll just leave that one there. And again, I will just apply it. So now I have a nice little piece that I can use and I can upload to any time I need a new profile picture. And when I'm done, I'm going to save it back to my Google Drive. So be funky. At any point in time, if I'm using any other app, I can pull in there. That just does some very simple and easy stuff. I'm just going to leave this page here, go to my apps. There's one in here called, where's my Pixlr editor. And this one has some free advertising in it. Again, I can pull in images from my library or from my computer or what have you. But the cool thing about this is that it actually is will read Photoshop files. So if you've already created something in Photoshop, you can pull that information in. Now, I haven't logged into this for a while, so I have to log back in and just authenticate that I'm logging in with my McEwen account. But I only have to do this once or whenever they make a major update to the application. But I can go into my library here and let's see what templates. So I have a template here that I was fooling around with for my YouTube channel that I wanted. So there's a template and I can work with that. I can add my graphics and stuff. Really cool stuff that you can do with those apps. What else do I have here? Oh, WeVideo. WeVideo. I should have organized before I came here. Is a video system very similar to iMovie, or I guess like, I'm not sure, can't remember the name of the one that's on the Windows side. But one of the cool things about this is not only can I upload files that I store in the cloud, but it also allows for, if as a paid service, I could do group editing. So I can actually have 4 or 5 people, 10 people, all contributing videos to this project and helping me out with the different editing that's going on. So you'll see here I've got some videos that I've put in, and these videos I actually took with my iPhone and then uploaded to Google Drive. And then I opened up WeVideo, I brought it all in, and then I created this little video here. You probably can't hear the sound, but imagine some really bluesy stuff going on. And I mean, this took me all of, including the videos and stuff like that, maybe 20 minutes. You know, if you had more experience with that, you probably have a lot more stuff that you could do with it, and a lot more fun that you could have with that. So that's WeVideo, a lot of fun. We are at 25 after. I'm just going to show off, or just talk about a couple other ones. Chrome Remote Desktop is a great piece. It allows you to work with others who have Chrome, and you can do remote in on their computers. So, for example, have either of you guys got Chrome Remote Desktop installed on your machine? You'll have to say something because I can't see you. Right?
No, sorry, I don't know.
Okay.
Just a couple seconds and I will.
Okay, so while John's doing that, the nice thing about it is, you notice all the person has to do is install this once. So if you've got, like my mom, who's not computer savvy at all, I can go in and I just install this once with her account. Whenever she's ready, all I say to her is, hey, go to that apps link, click on that apps, bring up Chrome Remote Desktop. So that's easy enough. She comes up here. She wants some assistance. She wants help. And it's going to give not only screen sharing, but it also allows me to actually control her computer and take over for it. I can also set this up on computers that I have running. So at home I have my Mac Mini set up. I can set that up to automatically log in. So I can actually troubleshoot or do whatever changes I need to do to my Mac Mini at home, and I can do that from my computer. I can even do it from my mobile device. So if I need to on my iPhone, I can go in and restart my computer or launch an app or do whatever changes I need to do. But Chrome Remote Desktop is really a good one for that. John, how far away are you? Do you want me to move on to a different app and we come back?
No, I'm there.
Okay. So John has probably gone in, and you have this the Chrome Remote Desktop window up now?
I do.
So click on where it says Remote Assistance. And then you're going to share. So John will click on share, and I could be on the phone for all this when this is going on. And John's going to get an access code that he's going to give me in a second.
Not doing anything.
Not doing anything. Okay, well then, imagine if you will, John has actually got in, and he gets a code. He gives it to me over the phone, over a Hangout or whatever. I punch in the code, I hit connect, and now his screen will actually show up right here on my desktop. And not only can I see what he's doing, I can actually move his mouse and his cursor over so I can click on stuff, drag stuff around, do all the stuff as if I'm actually right there. It's a great, great resource if you're working with anybody, just to have that available. Going to talk about one more app, and like I said, there's thousands of apps that you could look at. There's games and stuff like that. Whatever you need to do, do some search. You can easy thing to do is just Google search Google Chrome apps, and you'll find all sorts of stuff. Mindmeister is one. I like to use that one when I'm doing some brainstorming. It's going to allow me to, when I look at menus and stuff like that, I can go in here and I can show. Open it up. Sarah, you can see how I've got menus and sub-menus when we're designing websites at the university here. I can pre-populate that ahead of time so I know exactly what I have to build. Another thing that I like to use that I just found out is one called Audio Tool. Where's it? Soundtrap. Where's Soundtrap? Soundtrap, there it is. I already signed up. I don't know why it's asking me a second time. But Soundtrap is like GarageBand. So for those of you that are putting audio stuff together, Soundtrap will do the same thing. You can go in, you can lay down a track, as you can see here. You can put in whatever sounds you want. You can put in whatever backgrounds and stuff, and make your own soundtrack for the back of your video that you're doing yourself. And again, there's some collaboration that's available to it as well. All of this stuff at the base level is free, which is the best part of the apps. And of course, for anyone that's really into it, there's lots of games to play. But I mean, nobody's got time for games. I know that. We all know that. So that's it in a nutshell. 30 minutes. We took a look at extensions and apps for Google Chrome. Lots of really cool stuff. I will share out the link. I think we already have. Let me just double check. If we haven't, I will. Oh, you know what? I didn't share out the questions document. I am sorry. I've got the questions up now. If you want to take a look at that and throw in a question there, we'll take a look at questions while I'm talking. But in the meantime, I'll also put in the resource for this document in the video itself. So in the video description, I'll put on the resources to the links we talked about, as well as links to the video collection. So if anyone wants to, you can take a look at our collection of videos that we talked about. I'll put that link in there as well. and just play around. There's so many cool things with extensions and apps that are available to you. Just keep in mind that if you're anytime you add something to it, that's taken away from the RAM memory of your computer and of the browser. So if you load up a whole bunch of extensions and stuff, and regardless of whether you use them or not, there's memory being allotted to that in order to keep that functional and not open. And if you find problems with your computer, the Chrome starts to crap out on you or shut down and stuff, it could be because you have too many extensions loaded in. For me, typically, it's because I have too many windows and too many browsers open. But I actually do have an extension that I use that will help limit to those browsers, and that Tab Cloud is one of them that helps with that. Gentlemen, any questions or follow-up?
No, I'm just going to start playing here in a second.
Okay. I've got someone typing in a question here right now. On the remote app, can I pull a file off of another PC? No, but you could. So you can't do transfers is the question. So I know people use TeamViewer and some other ones where they can actually transfer files, but there's nothing to say you can't save that file to Google Drive. So the moment you save that file to Google Drive at home, it's available to you on your Google Drive on your computer at your workstation or wherever else you happen to be. Little confused about the remote, other than, okay. So the remote thing, what it does is allow you to look at the other screen. That's pretty much it, as well as control the other person's screen. So as for me, working with my mom, rather than try and say, you know, what browser are you in or what are you using, I can look at it, and rather than saying click on the third link from the right or go to the Apple menu or the file menu, I just do it. It's just faster and easier. At any point in time, as the person on the receiving end or who's transmitting and getting the help, I can turn that off. So it's not like I've given you access to the thing and no one else can ever, no one can shut me out. The person whose computer can always at any point in time shut out a person accessing. John, do we have any other questions there?
No, not at this point.
Okay.
I will, just not now.
Just not now. Okay, my fault. If you guys have any questions, by all means, give me a call or contact me here, beck@mcewen.ca. Again, the video series is through the Let's Talk series. If you go to mcewen.ca/Google, that will give us our Google page or Google site that we use. There's a help menu, and in the help menu, there's a list in there of the tutorials that we have available. There's a link to my blog that I put in some extra advanced features or advanced tips and tricks and stuff, as well as links to the video series of these Let's Talk stuff. That's it then. I'm going to say thank you to my co-hosts, and thanks for everyone else that tuned in, and other than that, we will see you next time.
Yeah, take care, Trevor. Thanks.